Good morning guys, welcome to my channel. For today, we're going to answer biology practice test that is very helpful when you are taking Nmat, Upcat, and other college entrance tests. There are a series of questions that you need to answer in just 5 seconds. And afterwards, correct answer will be given together with explanation. Are you ready? Let's start. Number 1. In what organ does digestion of proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids occur? A. Esophagus, B. Large intestine, C. Small intestine, D. Stomach. The correct answer is letter C, small intestine. In the process of digestion, always remember that in the small intestine where most digestion happens, it digests proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids that are coming from the food we eat. The main job of the esophagus is to move the food from the mouth into the stomach via peristalsis. In the stomach, temporary digestion of proteins happen as well as the destruction of microorganisms. Meanwhile, the function of large intestine is to reabsorb water and salts, and it also stores the fecal matter. Number 2. Which of the following cell parts is not present in animal cell? A. Cell wall, B. Mitochondria, C. Nucleus, D. Ribosomes. The correct answer is letter A, cell wall. Always remember that in animal cell, mitochondria, nucleus, and ribosomes are present. Meanwhile, cell wall can only be found in the plant cell. Number 3. Which stages of cellular division have exactly opposite characteristics? A. Metaphase and anaphase, B. Metaphase and telophase, C. Prophase and anaphase, D. Prophase and telophase. The correct answer is letter D, prophase and telophase. Mitosis is part of the cell cycle which replicated chromosomes are separated into two, and it has 4 stages, namely prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Prophase is the beginning stage of cell division, meanwhile, telophase is the last stage for mitosis where replicated chromosomes are being separated. Number 4. The growth reaction of plants to gravity is called A. Geotrophism, B. Heliotrophism, C. Thermotrophism, D. Thigmotrophism. The correct answer is A. Geotrophism. It is the growth reaction of plants to gravity. Meanwhile, heliotrophism is the directional growth of plant in response to sunlight. Thermotrophism is the directional growth of plant in response to the source of heat. And lastly, thigmotrophism is a type of trophism in which physical contact is a factor causing orientation of the whole organism. Number 5. What are the necessary components of nucleotide? A. A chain of at least 3 amino acids, B. An aromatic base and a pentose sugar, C. An aromatic base, a pentose sugar, and phosphate, D. An aromatic base, a pentose sugar, phosphate, and iron. The correct answer is letter C, an aromatic base, a pentose sugar, and phosphate. A nucleotide is a building block of nucleic acids that is made up of 5-carbon sugar or what we call pentose sugar, phosphate, and an aromatic base. Examples of aromatic base are adenine and guanine. Number 6. The 2 molecules that result from glycolysis are each made up of how many carbon atoms? A2, B3, C4, D6. The correct answer is letter B, 3. The end product of glycolysis is pyruvate. As you can see on its structural formula, pyruvate has 3 letters C, which represents the carbon atoms. Therefore, the molecule pyruvate has 3 carbon atoms. Which of the following has the correct complementary basis? A. Adenine is paired with cytosine. B. Adenine is paired with guanine. C. Guanine is paired with cytosine. D. Guanine is paired with thymine. The correct answer is letter C. Guanine is paired with cytosine. For you to easily remember the complementary bases in the nucleotide, always remember the GCAT, where guanine is always paired with cytosine and adenine is always paired with thymine. GCAT. Number 8. An example of protein secondary structure is A. Alpha helicase, B. Beta helicase, C. Hydrogen bond, and letter D. Peptide bond. The correct answer is A. Alpha helicase. The protein secondary structures are alpha helicase and beta pleated sheets. Hydrogen and peptide bonds are examples of bonds in different molecules, but they are not a secondary protein structure. Number 9. Which of the following is not an example of a simple sugar? A. Glucose, B. Galactose, C. Fructose, D. Sucrose. The correct answer is letter D. Sucrose. Glucose, galactose, and fructose are all examples of simple sugar. Sucrose is an example of disaccharide, which is a combination of 2 simple sugar. There are 3 disaccharide. We have maltose, lactose, and sucrose. Maltose is a combination of glucose and glucose. Meanwhile, lactose is a combination of glucose and galactose. And sucrose, or our table sugar, is a combination of glucose and fructose. Last number, number 10. Which part of the nervous system is responsible for controlling skeletal muscle movement? A. Autonomic nervous system, B. Parasympathetic nervous system, C. Somatic nervous system, D. Sympathetic nervous system. The correct answer is letter C. Somatic nervous system. Our nervous system is divided into 2. We have somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system controls involuntary activities such as the beating of our heart, and autonomic nervous system is subdivided into 2, namely parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system. Meanwhile, somatic nervous system controls voluntary activities such as lifting weights. And that's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for you to be notified of the upcoming videos. This is Sir Docs saying, there is fun in learning science. Thank you and goodbye.